Well, we could not have ordered up better weather. Mother Nature hasn't exactly cooperated through the latter parts of March, or even, for that matter, almost the entire month of April. But today, you couldn't have painted a better Bob Ross picture. Clear blue skies, and I mean maybe just a puffy cloud or two, lots of sunshine, a little bit of a breeze to take the edge off of things, and 81-degree temperatures at meet time. We welcome you to Fred Brown Stadium. It is the home of the Bulldogs, but today it is also the home of the 48th annual Defiance Palmer Relays. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Scoop, we're going to be getting a good look at a number of different multi-sport athletes throughout the course of this afternoon as Defiance welcomes Napoleon, Tenora, and Liberty Center to the stadium, and we are going to be all over today. Right there, you take a good look at the field events and the long jump that's just about to get started. Just to the right of it, we've got two cameras down in the pit area. We'll be taking a look at the pole vault as well, but we've got a lot of what is the title in this, the relays, and we're going to see some of the best that Northwest Ohio has to offer.
Yeah, certainly going to be an entertaining afternoon here at Defiance High School. The fact that these four schools here that make up the Palmer Relays, very familiar with each other. They've been long-standing members of this relays, and of course that's Napoleon, Liberty Center, Tenor, and of course the host Defiance Bulldogs. But again, you mentioned it, Brent, a lot of great athletes here this afternoon, but you also, if you turn back the clock a little bit, there's been a lot of great athletes that have been part of these relays, as you mentioned, go back all the way to the 1977 inaugural season, where they
which was your freshman year, right?
Kind of like that.
But in all seriousness, you want to be getting up against the best competition as you work your way towards the tail end of the regular season. As we are getting set for the playing of the national anthem is brought to you by the Defiance Elks Lodge. Number 147 will step out for the playing of the Star Spangled Banner. And the national anthem in the books. Everybody's scattered around various parts of the track and the pit areas. We're going to have a lot of action happening simultaneously. We can tell you that the schedule, and again, this is loosely done because you are basically at the mercy of how quick not only the athletes go, but also the officials for each individual event go. But we are expecting the boys and girls shot put to get underway. Matter of fact, they have been warming up right now. We'll take a look at it and try and get you some communication from down in the pit area to let you know what is official and what is not. Of course, the high jump will be down there as well, the pole vault, and then the long jump, our first relay of the afternoon, will be the girls and the boys 6,400-meter relays, and those will be coming up shortly here. So, Scoop, we're going to keep our eyes on a lot of different places throughout the course of the afternoon, but stay with us. We promise we will, this is going to be like a buffet, if you will. Take a little bit of everything this afternoon.
Well, you're right. We're going to try to cover as many of the events as we can. I think all said and done, there's going to be 28 different events here this afternoon, and our camera guys will certainly be awfully busy going from venue A to venue B, but we'll try to keep you abreast on everything, and I think you're going to have an entertaining time here seeing some terrific athletes out here this afternoon.
Well, right there you're seeing the pole vault right now, one of our cameras from down in the pit. We can tell you the competitors in that area. Tenora has sent 3 for the girls. Bella Graziani, Kaylee Dickinson, and Olivia Knight. Defiance, led by Kendall and Krekel, Lily Delaney, and Elizabeth Thompson will also be competing for the Bulldogs. And Napoleon has sent 3 as well. Audrey Schultz, Addison Butler, Renee Schnitke, Liberty Center with 3 as well. Maddie Bailey, Quinn Bailey, and Skylar Bailey. So my guess is the Bailey family is going to win something for Liberty Center in that event.
Just amazing. Skylar, of course, being a freshman, Quinn a sophomore, and Maddie a junior, all compete for the Tigers here this afternoon. What's always a very entertaining event to watch, one of my favorites as far as the field events.
And there you take a look at, for a number of reasons, not the least of which is safety. They go with the flexible cord instead of the standard or traditional pole vault bar. They're practicing right now, getting ready to put the reel for deal stuff up. And again, that is such a, I don't want to call it a difficult, because that doesn't begin to describe the skill set it takes. You've got to have speed, you have to have strength, you have to have balance, all operating almost simultaneously.
It's not for everyone.
No.
You know, there's no question about that. It takes a special type of person to go out there and kind of be that daredevil that's going to go all out there down the runway and get the pole in the box there to start things out. Again, always entertaining, just amazing how it seems like each and every year the bar gets raised, no pun intended, as these athletes get better and better.
Well, let's tell you who is going to be competing for the boys in the pole vault. Liberty Center has sent a trio of athletes: Colton Chambers, Levi Spade, and Tyler Roars. Tenora, we'll see Devin Llewellyn, Andon Ankeny, and Craig Hoffman represent. And then for Defiance, it will be Larry Wade, Colbin Bachman, and Victor Ramirez. Nobody at least listed on our heat sheets from Napoleon.
And a pretty young group there between those 9. Just one senior in Colton Chambers from Liberty Center, and also another senior from Tenora, and an Ankeny. But everybody else, other than Lewin there from Tenora, everybody else a freshman or sophomore. So a young crew there on the pole vault this afternoon.
Oh, never mind. All right.
Just kind of keeping an eye on how the athletes warm up, not just for the field events. There you take a good look at our sky cam, we will call it. Part of the stands as well as part of the oval here at Fred Brown Stadium. And again, on a very warm day, Scoop, again, not so much for the field events, but certainly for the track events. For the last 4 to 6, probably even closer to 8 weeks, if you've been able to train outdoors, most of it being indoors, but if you've been able to train outdoors, it's been cold, it has been wet, it has been windy, maybe a little bit of a breeze here today, but I'm going to guess the athletes will tell you it's welcome to take the edge off the sweat, but it is considerably warm. I would say borderline hot compared to what these athletes have been used to for the last month and a half. How do you think that will affect performance today?
Well, I think it's certainly going to be a day for PRs. You know, I think we're going to see a lot of personal bests here this afternoon. The fact, as you mentioned, Brent, they've been running in cold, they've been running in rain, they've been running in wind. And right now, I think those warmer temperatures, that should help. Now, again, a lot of these events, since it's a relay, you're not going to have really times to compare to like you would if you're running a regular dual track meet here this afternoon. But again, I think that all the athletes are welcome this warm weather.
Let me ask you, though, over the course of the meet, if you're going to be a multi-event athlete, does that maybe take a little out of your legs where it wouldn't have, say, even just a week ago when the temperatures were barely in the 60s?
My wife would tell you no, as she has many years of track experience. My mind tells you yes.
Yeah.
But again, you know, a lot of it has to do on the training and so forth. But you know, even just being out there, you know, near the turf out there, that turf absorbs a lot of sun, and that really kind of drains you as you're out there for an hour or 2 or 3 here on a sunny, beautiful afternoon here in Defiance. So certainly it'll have a little bit of effect. But again, these coaches do such a great job with these youngsters, you know, keeping them well hydrated and having a great conditioning program for most of these people out here. It really goes year round anymore. But again, that, you know, that hydration thing isn't something you just do on the day of the meet here.
Every coach will tell you 24 to 48 hours prior to competition, correct?
Yeah, and no doubt about it. And the athletic trainers here are going to tell you that's a weekly thing. You don't just do it Tuesday and Wednesday, get ready for Thursday. It's something you do each and every day of the week. So important, and especially what great advances they've had here And certainly the athletic training staff here at Defiance, second to none.
Well, again, you talk about nutrition, hydration in particular. I'm not going to date myself. We're roughly the same age, but you know, down on the field, I'm watching water, but I'm looking at all types of sports aid drinks. In my day, you had Gatorade, and that was it. And it wasn't Gatorade Blue, Gatorade Orange, Gatorade Purple. Gatorade was just Gatorade. Our coaches at that time, again, maybe not as well armed with the science behind the nutrition as they have today, would say, you know what, if you want to take some fruit juice, grape juice, orange juice, and mix it half and half with water, that would be acceptable. Today, I don't think anybody would green like that.
It really has changed. You're right. One flavor of Gatorade back in our day, and that was it. You didn't have different colors or anything else. But now you have all the science that goes into it. You want to make sure it's a hypotonic solution, not a hypertonic solution. So that's where the water sometimes added to it comes into play. But again, these athletes certainly welcoming these conditions here this afternoon.
So the pole vault, is now officially up and going, as you've seen the first, I believe, a couple of attempts. As Defiance is giving it a shot, that bar set incredibly low just to give the athletes a feel for things. As Defiance, again, as we talked about it, will be represented here this afternoon by Kendall and Krekel, Lily Delaney, and Elizabeth Thompson. Talked with Coach Rittenauer prior to the meet today. We are, let's say, expecting him to come up post-meet, but he said Kendall and Krekel has made great strides in her pole vaulting, not just from last year into this year, but the start of this year until now.
Well, we kind of mentioned how it really takes a special type of athlete to compete in the pole vault, but one of the things with it, besides incredible strength and speed, technique is a big part of pole vault, and that's something that these girls have been well schooled on. There's an early attempt there. I'm not sure the starting height here. I don't have it in front of me right now.
We'll see if one of our camera ops can maybe find for us. But again, Napoleon being represented by Audrey Schultz, Addison Butler, and Renee Schnitke.
I think the guys, you know, you have the option to pass, but I think the guys start out at 8 foot. The women start out at 6 feet here in the pole vault this afternoon. Of course, you have the option to pass on to the next height.
The risk taking there, though, is if you choose to do that, potentially bottom out with no points for your team, though, correct? You got to be confident.
Yeah,
if you're going to do that.
Absolutely. You know, and the risk reward part of that is you have a chance for fewer misses, and if you end up tying, it's going to come down to the athlete with the fewest misses will get the tie-breaking edge.
And we're taking a look at some of the guys now. I think they are getting ready for the competition. Defiance will send Larry Wade, Colbin Bachman, and Victor Ramirez to the pad. We'll see how they fare. Camera operator setting up on the other side of the bar there. So off in the distance, you'll see the runners approach. Still working on the girls finishing up their rounds here.
You know, last year's guys pole vault winner was Colton Chambers.
It doubles through
from Liberty Center
on the broadcast,
who cleared 12 foot. He tied with Preston Knopfsinger of Archbold, but it came down to misses, and Chambers was able to get the nod. As far as the team standings in the pole vault relay, Archbold came up on top as they had Knopfsinger cleared 12 feet, Gabe Short cleared 11 feet, and Brady Miller cleared 9 feet to give them a score of 32 feet combined.
This is Liberty Center. I believe this is Maddie Bailey. At least she's listed first in the rotation for Liberty Center. Defiance got the early start. Tenora and Napoleon have taken their turn in the rotation, and Liberty Center seeing if they can't pick up some early points. almost. I believe that might have been Quinn Bailey.
And Quinn Bailey last year was part of the winning pole vault team for Liberty Center, as she combined with Calla Olcraig and also Cassie Alif, as they were able to secure first place and secure 8 points for the Tigers, who actually won the meet last year on both the girls and guys side.
So up next, we've got Tenora taking their turn. This is such a, I can't say learned event, but Scoop, in all honesty, it's like putting in golf, right? They say last to arrive, first to leave. You have to be pretty much a specialist to really get good at this event.
Yeah, you really do, and you know, it's only been on the girls' side. It's been there for a while now, but certainly that was something that back when we had track was not something that was part of the girls' side. The pole vault, nice to see that's been added, and it's hard for us to tell. Not only we can tell what school is running from up here, but some of the girls have passed on the initial height, so you don't have all three from each school necessary trying to clear the bar here early on.
Well, at this point, is this where the cream kind of separates itself from the crop, too? This early in the event?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think most of the athletes are choose to try to clear the initial height. There are some that have passed. That much I do know, but I think it's a small minority, so to speak. But again, it's so important to try to get that initial height right away, get your feet settled, get some confidence, and also avoid racking up those misses that could come into play, you know, once we get into those tiebreaker scenarios.
There you get a good look at our top deck camera. The relay's not scheduled to start for about another 15 minutes. Pole vault taking place, long jump down in the pit, and the high jump. And I believe is the shot put officially underway here. That is probably about 40 or 50 yards off to the right. We'll wait and see if we got a camera down there. It looks like we do. For the shot put, for the girls, Defiance is going to send Angelica Sabalos, Avery McCarrier, and Maya Bloomfield. For Napoleon, Ella Tassler, Jillian Richard, and Michaela Cruzy. Liberty Center has their contingent comprised of Kirsten Maas, Jada Furco, and Peyton Hageman. And for Tenora, Tatum Krebs, Amanda Fleetwood, and Abby Wemkin. Right now, looking like the boys are finishing warm-ups. We'll try and get clarification if they've officially started or not. I think they may still be warming up. Again, this is part of what happens when you've got the field events that start about a half hour before the track events, and they're going on simultaneously. So we're going to do our best to try and synchronize what we're looking at and try and bring you the most up-to-date results. There we're taking a look at the guys. I think this might be underway here, Scoop. We've got the tape out. So for the boys, looks like Liberty Center has an athlete that's getting ready. Garrison Cruzy, Max Walker, and Hunter Spangler will be throwing shot for Liberty Center. For Defiance today, Romeo Valley, Steve Hoffman, and Kelton Gibbs. Tenora will put up Ashton Houston, Gavin Bowers, and Lucas Stein. And Napoleon, Henry Eggers, Robert Ratliff, and Nicholas Flowers. That wind is blowing straight into our press box right now. So Scoop, again, I know with track results or times, quite often you'll see wind aided next to a time or a result. How much does that affect the shot, in your opinion?
Not a whole lot. You know, I've seen studies on this. Crazy me, but they even say that the curvature of the Earth, rotation of the Earth, has a slight effect on the shot. I'm not sure I'm convinced of that, but I've read that. To me, that's that might be pushing the envelope a little bit. But we should say in the boys' shot last year, Liberty Center was the boys' shot put relay champion. And two of those three you mentioned, Hunter Spangler, a sophomore, and Brady Giesecke, a junior, were part of that winning boys' shot put relay team for the Tigers last year, trying to go back-to-back here. And again, the way they do it in the relays, they take those top three athletes from that school. They're going to add up their distances, and the three that have the highest total will be the boys' shot put relay champions.
So as the field events are continuing, I'm still watching a lot of, in this case, some of the distance runners, just kind of taking a few warm-up laps, trying to loosen up, maybe get a lather worked up a little bit. What's the strategy for the track athletes, if you're a coach, between getting loose but maybe spending a little too much energy that you need to probably save when it finally comes time to run?
Well, there's a fine line there, but I think most coaches, they want those kids really warming up for an extended time. It's not going to be, you know, the whole time. It's intense, obviously, but what they want you to do is once you start warming up, they don't want you to go and just sit cold there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then try to re-warm up. So it's important that you stay loose. As you see a lot of athletes just going gingerly across the track here. Some going across the football field, some doing some stretches. But again, just try to keep that heart rate up, keep that body temp up a little bit, so you're good to go when you get that third and final call for your event.
Well, it is a team sport, but it is comprised of multiple individual events. So it's one of those situations, a lot like, say, wrestling as an example. Yeah, you add up the individual scores, and at the end of the day, which team wins. But when you're out there doing the shot or any of the field events, long jump, high jump, pole vault, there's really not a whole lot that the team can do for you. You are in the zone and you are on your own.
Yeah, you're on an island by yourself. But again, the beauty of the relays is the fact that each and every inch or foot, whatever you can do, just helps the cause. So you want to give your maximal effort. It's not about having to win. It's about maybe getting a PR here and helping the team collectively take the title.
Working our way towards the top of the hour. That is when the relays are scheduled to begin in about another 11 minutes. Again, the shot put taking place on the backside of Fred Brown Stadium. There is a practice football slash kind of softball field over there, but in this case, it has now officially been marked off for the shot put.
And remember, event 25 and 26 here this afternoon, Brent. Well, 25 will be the girls 4x100 meter Iron Woman relay, which will consist of all the throwers. Since there's three, they'll have to add a fourth, but we'll have a relay between the women. And then, of course, event 26, the boys 4x100 melee Ironman relay. So that should be very entertaining. Last year, Liberty Center was able to take the girls relay out there on the track, and the Napoleon Wildcats took the boys' side.
I've heard various coaches refer to that relay as the final conflict. Good-naturedly, of course. You ever seen the Waitman's relays?
Oh, yes.
Oh, man. Those guys want to be viewed and talked about as track athletes, not just field athletes.
Well, if those guys are running behind me, I'm not slowing down because
you fall down, you're getting trampled, buddy.
Could be the pancake effect, but that might make you kick it into fifth gear in a hurry. I talked to a junior high student today up at Archbold that was going to be in a weight man relay this afternoon. So he was a little antsy about it, but he also was kind of had a smile on his face. I think he's going to enjoy it. I'm be curious to hear how it goes if I can track him down tomorrow somehow.
Again, working our way through it, seeing the high jump now, and I'm not sure if this is still some warm-ups or if they are officially underway. We'll try and get official confirmation. We can tell you for post-meet comments, for the Defiance perspective, Coach Steve Rittenauer is scheduled to come up and join us. So had a chance to chat with him prior to the meet, get a little bit more in-depth information on several of his athletes. He has been coaching. Let's see, we tried to do the math, and trust me, he's the educator. I am not. You work in education, so I'm assuming you can do quick math as well. But 2008 through 2017, he was the head coach. Took, I think, a couple years off, and then 3 seasons ago, came back. So it's been kind of an off-again, on-again love affair with Defiance track for Coach Rittenauer. But now that he's got some of his own kids who are old enough to compete, we're going to keep an eye on them, not the least of which Gabby, who is going to be participating in several events this afternoon. As there you see the high jump continuing. And you are the track expert here, but where is the base that they start? Do you know, with high jump?
I'm not sure what you mean by the questions, but
the height that you're going to start at.
Oh.
Like you mentioned with the pole vault, you can pass if you choose to.
yeah, I believe the opening height for the girls starts at 4 foot, and for the guys it starts at 5. And again, typically goes up in 2-inch increments till you get to a certain height. But again, you certainly have that option to pass. Some of your more experienced and gifted athletes are probably going to maybe pass first couple times. And there you see a great jump right there, easily clearing the bar. One of the Liberty Center high jumpers.
Yep. Maddie Bailey, Aletha Fonsnight, and Emerson Gherkin will be doing the honors for Liberty Center in the high jump. For Napoleon, Lila Huddle, Molly Rosebrook, and Renee Schnitke. Nova Oakley, Dakota Signs, and Emma Bailey for Tenora. And Defiance will put up Ashton Shaw, Brooklyn Killian, and Adra Hill.
And both high jump records here for the Palmer relays go back a little ways. For the girls, the record belongs to Regina Smith from Toledo Macomber. That school no longer there, but Regina Smith cleared 5.6 back in 1988. Now on the guys' side, a name that I'm sure a lot of people in this area will remember, Ryan Fleck from Napoleon back in 2008. He cleared 6 feet 8.5 inches. That's a mark that still stands, and something, Brent, I know you'll be up on. If you go way back, now you have to think about Defiance track in general. They first started their track program back in 1934. And a guy that coached in the NCAA tournament this year once had the Defiance high jump record. Of course, you know who that is, as he set the record at 6 feet 4.5 inches back in 1974. Now that record only stood for a couple years before a guy named Denny Shannon, whose boy went to Archbold, was part of a state baseball championship team, Patrick. But Denny Shannon broke Greg Campy's record in '76, and that record still stands at 6'8". And so again, a lot of long-standing records. I'm sorry, and his record stands as far as Defiance High School. Ryan Fleck has the Palmer relay record, but again, you know, Greg Campy, who led Oakland almost to the Sweet 16 this year.
Should have.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda, but What a season, and he was a great athlete here at Defiance. Of course, also played basketball, played football, and of course went on to play football and basketball at BGSU.
It's a punter at BG. As this, I believe, was the second attempt for Tenora. Again, setting at 4 foot. But the high jump is now underway. They're not wasting any time here. Quick approach, just trying to get the footwork right.
So important, the radius of the curve there on your approach here. As far as the technique, this high jump's another one that so much technique involved. And there you see just kind of clipping it there. But it certainly looks like a height she can clear right there.
Where the temperature really feels like it's even warmed up since start time here. It was 80+ degrees when the field events got going.
Well, it's just been a beautiful day. It's great to see so many athletes down there that are just wearing their track uniforms that are not layered up, and you can't even see their faces and so forth. They certainly are taking this in, and
so far, the opening height of 4 feet has proven to be just a little bit tricky. I've had coaches, even some former athletes, refer to track meets as glorified campouts. Just kind of sitting around waiting. You can start a fire and maybe roast a few marshmallows, and then boom, all of a sudden, you're up and it's time to go. Things change in the snap of the fingers.
yeah, there's so much more involved than kind of meets the eye sometimes. So again, the experience certainly is big, and
There you can hear the voice of Steve Wall over the PA system. Longtime coach and teacher here at Defiance. So many people doing so much work behind the scenes to get an event like this not only up and going, but pre-produced, so to speak. I got out here about 2 hours before start time, and there were people still kind of buzzing around, trying to get everything set, testing clocks. And you never hear their names, but they are integral to getting an event like this off and going.
yeah, it almost takes the whole community to put on an event such as this. And again, they've done this since the late 70s or mid to late 70s. So just kudos to the people at Defiance for continuing to host this meet, where so many area schools over the years have been a part of.
There you get a good look at a pretty healthy throw. Again, we don't have the specifics to be able to tell you what the tape measure says, but we know a good one when we see one.
Yeah, that was well beyond the 40-foot stripe there, as we saw. And last year, this event, Owen Box from Liberty Center, who graduated, he was the individual winner in the boys shot, going 47 feet and 1 inch.
40 plus, from what we've been able to see so far, would be the leader on the board in the shot put.
Well, last year there were 5 teams here, and they had 15 people performing the shot, and I believe 7 of them were able to clear at least 40 feet.
Working our way through the shot. Working our way towards the relays. It is now exactly 5 o'clock. And we are inching closer and closer to getting them going here. The relays that will start. And again, with only 4 teams here, they're getting them set right now. All right. And we'll check. This is going to be a boys relay.
Yeah, this may be the boys 4 by 1,600 meter relay.
I think so. We're going to go with the long one first.
So do you just want me to stay with the lead guy or what?
It looks like Tenora's drawn lane 3, Defiance lane 4, Napoleon lane 5, Liberty Center lane 6. And of course, once you get to that second turn, you'll be able to cut in. So from that point on, it'll be pretty much lanes 1, maybe 2. And here they go to their marks and take off.
Opening leg. This is 4 by 16, correct? We believe it to be 4 by 16.
Correct.
Noah Meyer has the opening leg for Tenora. For Defiance, Zane Bland. For Napoleon, Kellen Ressler. And for Liberty Center, Mason Like. A little bit of tight pack running in the early going. Although Mason Like looks like he likes the lead. Now, key to these longer relays, Scoop, and again, I know it's so easy, especially when you're amped up running the lead off, but you've got to make sure you keep the pace. It's more about mental than it is physical to open things up, isn't it?
It really is. And you know, right now, especially the fact that you've not had a lot of reps here in this type of weather, you know, you're going to feel the effects probably sooner than later. But again, you have to really not only be aware of your pace, but you have to be aware of the pace of the pack here, so to speak, where you don't get caught maybe getting out of your traditional pace, where you might really slag off the last couple hundred meters. But right now, everybody just kind of playing off each other here. The important thing is you want to just try to again keep that pace, and again just work your way inside. Don't get caught on the outside, which shouldn't be too difficult with just 4 schools here in the relay this year.
You're not going to see too much physicality. It can get physical. Talking with guys that race, especially at some of the upper levels, not uncommon for an elbow or two to get thrown every now and then, or to catch a cleat. You just got to stay focused and stay with it. As the second lap about to be in the books right now, pretty decent job of pack running by 3 out of the 4 on the opening leg.
Yeah, as they hit the 1,600 meter, or I'm sorry, the 800 meter mark right now, 2:22 the pace for the top 3, and just a couple seconds back here for Tenora. So everybody kind of within striking distance here. And again, this is the 4 by. So this is just the first leg, what roughly is going to end up being 4 miles.
Yep. Which is just an early morning walk for you, right? Down to the coffee shop.
Early, mid-morning, and late morning combined.
Come back then.
The key here is to stay within arm's reach, right? Again, not to say that you can win it in the first leg, but sometimes you can put yourself out of contention in that first leg.
Well, you're right. They always told us to try to read the tag on the back of the guy's shirt ahead of you and make sure he was the leader and not the guy at the tail end. So, again, right now I think everybody feeling pretty good where they're at as we come across the third turn of the third lap. So look for the pace here to pick up, as it will be not the bell lap for the race, but the bell lap for these guys right here. They're going to try to kick in that final 400 meters.
Well, speaking of kicking it in, Kellen Ressler has now passed Mason Like for the lead. How much does he have left in his tank? For Defiance, Zane Bland is still within arm's reach, and for Tenora, the freshman Noah Meyer just trying to gut it out. And you can see the second leg come out onto the track just a few feet in front of the finish line.
And we just hit the 4-minute mark. So again, a pretty solid pace here to start things out on this lead leg.
Kellen Ressler did a good job of drafting through the first 3 laps, but he decided he wanted to take charge going into his final lap of this leg. And we'll see how much he's got in the tank, as looks like he's paced himself well. A little early to go into his kick, but it looks like he's got some in the drum. And on the flip side, looks like he's wincing just a little bit. And look at this, coming on strong for Defiance is Zane Bland, as the exchange is made. And now we'll see. Again, here's where that adrenaline early scoop might take you out quick, but like we were talking about, settle into your pace or your tempo relatively quickly.
Yeah, again, a good first leg by all 4 athletes out there. We just now hit the 5-minute mark.
Running the second leg for Tenora with some distance to make up, sophomore Liam McMaster. For Defiance, Hendrix Myers. For Napoleon, Ethan Lloyd. And for Liberty Center, Ian Rosebrook. As they come around the third turn. Defiance first, Napoleon second, Liberty Center third. I will definitely give McMaster some credit. He is spending a lot of energy trying to get back into the race, but he has got a long way to go.
Well, he does, but he's got a lot of that back already here. You just wonder if he can keep this brutal pace for the next 3 laps, but he's certainly trying to get the Rams kind of back in the pack.
There's a little separation coming into lap number 2 here, as it looks like Rosebrook dropping back to a bit more of a distant third. So right now it is Myers and Lloyd, Defiance and Napoleon starting to separate from the rest of the pack. Still a long way to go in this leg.
Last year, Liberty Center was the winner in the 4x1600 for the guys, as they were able to run this under 20 minutes, which is incredible. I mean, that's sub 5 minutes for all 4 guys out there. That team was comprised of Derek Dooley, who graduated, Mason Like, who's a sophomore this year, and Ted Wyrenbeck, a sophomore this year, and also Jacob Fosnight, who graduated last year for the Tigers as well.
As we get set for this next lap, it looks like everybody's starting to fall a bit more into their tempo. And right now, a little bit more distance, I'd say almost even spacing amongst the top 3. Again, Myers, Lloyd, and Rosenbrook. McMaster had closed a little bit of that distance. It was considerable. It was almost a full quarter of the track by the time he got the exchange. I know he's off in the distance and not quite in your camera view here, but I tell you what, you're saving your best for the last 2 legs, right? So just stay within arm's reach, be competitive, and you never know what can happen. For Defiance, looking pretty strong. Entering this third turn, Hendrix Myers has opened up some distance, being cheered on by his teammates on the infield.
Yeah, nice job by the sophomore. He's really working hard, doing a great job of lengthening those stride, that stride length here as this race is more on. And here comes the final lap for these 4 guys here in the second leg of this 4x1600 relay.
Well, right now, Hendrix Myers looks like he is gaining a little bit more separation. This is the final lap of the second leg of the boys 4x1600 meter relay. Remember how tight that pack was after the first leg? And right now, Defiance, and in particular, Hendricks Myers.
Well, you're going to try to get as much separation as you can. You know, remember, Liberty Center typically is very deep in distance runners, so I don't think this is going to be a race where you're going to have a safe enough lead until it's finally over. But right now, Defiance really looking strong here as they're going to, as they get near the halfway point of this relay.
Let's see where Myers starts his kick here.
The time right now at 9:45, so they'll be well under 10 minutes.
He's looking strong right now. This is a very solid leg for Hendricks Myers. The exchange, off and running.
Look at Tenor coming up right here. They will be
in
in second place here.
Will they get a clean exchange? And they do. Tell you what, that might not be on the highlight reel, but you have to tip your cap to Liam McMaster, the sophomore.
Yeah, McMaster, he gave everything he had on that first lap, but he just kept chugging away. So what a gutty effort by the sophomore McMaster to get the Rams into second place here. But right now, Defiance looking awfully good as they've opened up about a 60-meter lead here on the pack.
This is Max Keck-Priest, and he is showing some pretty good form as he comes into the far turn.
And Brent, I'm not sure. I had to do a double take when I looked over some of these meet records, but one I did a double take on was this very race right here. I think this is the longest standing record as far as the Palmer relays, and this record for the 4x1600 goes all the way back to 1975.
Wow.
Where Finley, get this, ran a 17:52.2. I mean, that's just absolutely flying. I mean, that's a sub 4:30 1600 times 4. But this race here is really so gruesome here. You just have to keep chugging along.
Yep.
And you know these guys are tired, you know, not even half a lap in, but yet they're still gutting it out. But Defiance just seems to not slow down here. They've been in high gear here for the majority of this relay.
Max Keck-Priest was gifted a very large lead, and he is actually extending it right now. The junior looking strong. Third leg for Tenora is Logan Baldridge Jr. For Napoleon, Zane Peckinpah Sr. And for Liberty Center, they've got another freshman on the track in Jack Jones.
Well, Max Keck-Priest has opened up this lead to nearly 100 meters. It was 90 meters on the backstretch. It looks like he's opened it up even further. Again, impressive third leg here.
So here's the question. From a physical standpoint, we've already touched on it. This is a grueling event, but from a mental standpoint, what's the race? Is it more against yourself? Because right now, he's almost not quite a full quarter of the track in the lead on the rest of the pack. What's your mental approach if you're running lead in this situation?
Well, right now you just have to focus on the task at hand. You can't be looking back, and you're trying to get a PR for yourself and let the chips fall where they may. But again, this is one of those things where it's such a distance race that, again, no lead's going to be safe. You get one guy there at the end that is the best miler around, and all of a sudden a big lead might shrink up. So, again, it's really a race against yourself because, as we mentioned, I mean, 50 yards into this race, you're tired. And so do you try to save it for the end and think somehow there's going to be gas in the tank, or just kind of gut it out to begin with and try to go on fumes as long as you can? I mean, but again, this is why you practice, and this is why you set your relay up for where you do. But certainly the third leg, you know, always a key juncture.
Max Keck-Priest, as he comes through the final turn here, he almost will be able to see the competition. He did. He took a look to realize they are almost a full quarter of the track behind him. They're just getting to turn number 3 as he's halfway down the final stretch. He knows how far in advance he is.
Yeah, he didn't have to look back. He just had to look across the field because they're on the other side of the track. So excellent job here as he's kicking it in. And again, excellent time. It looks like Defiance will be real close to 15 minutes when they make that handoff for the anchor leg of this 4x1600 relay. And there you see it, Tenor right now locked in at 2, Napoleon close behind at 3, and Liberty Center, again, just a few yards behind at 4th.
It's pack running, but it's pack running for second place right now.
Yeah, right now it looks like it's a one-horse race as, again, you just can't say enough about Max Keck-Priest here, the junior. Boy, he's really opened up some separation. And now that lead is about 130 meters. He continues to just get some separation and distance between him. And now, as you said, Brent, the real race right now, I think, is going to be for that second, third, and fourth spot.
Right now, Max Keck-Priest wants to finish up strong, but I will say this, legs 2 and 3, Hendrix Myers and Max Keck-Priest have put on a clinic so far, and the exchange is coming to Josiah Gonzalez with a massive, massive lead.
And credit Gonzalez. I liked how he got to the front there of the exchange zone, so he's going to run more than 400 meters. But again, it tells you he wants the baton in his hand. He wants to attack right away. Here's a strong finish coming in.
Zane Peckinpah for Napoleon is emptying the tank as he will make the exchange to Harrison Bowles. Likewise, Tenora now sees freshman Wesley Maxwell running in the anchor leg, and finally getting the exchange for Liberty Center is sophomore Carson Knapp.
Well, Knapp's going to have his work cut out as Liberty Center now is probably maybe about 50 meters behind third place and maybe 70 meters behind Tenora in second place.
Watching Gonzalez. Good long stride, finishing up his first lap. When you're this far out in front, this big of a lead, again, Scoop, we talked about it. You're not running against the competition. You're running against yourself. How can you get the most out of yourself?
Yeah, you really are, and that's why you just can't get caught, watching the clock or watching the guy behind you. You just go out there, try to get a PR each and every time. But wow, Defiance really looking strong here in this opening relay here this afternoon.
A little bit of a breeze. The temperature hasn't really, as a matter of fact, it won't make any difference, because when we talked about the temperature down on that field with that turf for football, athletes commonly refer to it as feet heat. It is not uncommon. As a matter of fact, it's expected that you're going to see the temperature be anywhere 15 to 25 degrees hotter on the track, on the surface, than it is even up in the stands.
Well, you're right. You have the black surface that absorbs the sun. You got the turf that just collects that heat throughout the day. So these athletes are going to be plenty warm here for a while.
As we were just walking up the steps to get to the upper deck of the press box. Finishing up lap number 2, Josiah Gonzalez for Defiance.
Yeah, it's a great second lap there by the senior Gonzalez, who continues to distance himself from the pack. Napoleon now has really established himself nicely here in the second place, as Harrison Bowles, the senior, done a nice job of kind of separating from the rest of the pack.
He's got a little bit in his gas tank too, it looks like. And again, it's just a tremendous gap to try and make up, but he has distanced himself from the rest of the pack. So right now, it's a matter of just staying with your tempo, and can you say you ran your best leg?
Well, it's about 120 yards difference right now between Defiance and Napoleon, as Gonzalez hit the back of the north end zone just as Bowles was hitting the back of the south end zone. So I can do that math. We'll call it 120 yards.
Taking a look at Gonzalez here. Trying to keep those arms loose, keep that stride as long as possible. Not uncommon for it to shorten up this deep into.
And there's the
relay.
bell right there.
Final
Bell lap
lap
is on, and right now 18:50. If they once they came across the line there, for Josiah Gonzalez. So certainly these guys are going to break 20 minutes. And right now a good maybe 120 meters lead over Napoleon and Harrison Bowles. So Defiance right now just trying to finish things out.
Seriously, Scoop, I'm not saying this to be dramatic here, but there is the possibility that Josiah Gonzalez could potentially lap one of the other two remaining runners here. We'll wait and see.
Yeah, it's just been consistent here for Defiance. Just each and every lap's been very competitive. You know, last year we mentioned Liberty Center won this event at 1946. Defiance will not top that time, but they certainly have a shot of getting under 20 minutes here as we're at 1945 here as we hit the straightaway here.
See what Josiah Gonzalez has left in the tank. He's going to empty it out. He will not quite catch Carson Knapp. But down the straightaway, trying to finish up strong, and we'll give you an unofficial time as Defiance is going to win this relay, literally running away at 20:07. I'm going to guess it was, again, 20:07 and a few hundred seconds. I couldn't quite see around the corner here.
Yeah, great job, and Napoleon is certainly going to secure second place here. As you see
Bowles.
the kick from Bowles coming in, he hits the tape there at about 20:27, so about 20 seconds behind Defiance. And right now, Tenora in great shape to
finish up third.
to get the bronze here.
Yep. Wesley Maxwell, a freshman. This is a young Tenora relay, Scoop. 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and a junior.
Yeah, valuable experience here at these Palmer relays, and you know, for a young crew, I thought they really competed very well.
Maxwell trying to finish it out with a strong kick. And he will cross at roughly 21:07.
So really almost exactly a minute behind Defiance there. And here's a strong finish as well. As you see Carson Knapp, the sophomore, chugging for the line with 30 meters to go. He's going to break the tape there at about 2:27, we'll call it.
I think he is gassed, literally. You call that 2 or 21, what'd you call that? 21:27?
Yeah, about 21:27 there. So again, great job kicking it through. Boy, that's such a gruesome race.
It is brutal. And those gentlemen are going to try and catch their breath, get hydrated. But running this one to open things up, Scoop, to get the longest and the most grueling event out of the way early.
Yeah, that's certainly the closer to a marathon than anything else. You know, some of these races are going to take a minute, 2, 5 to 10, but this one, in about 20 minutes, we had our winner.
We're going to try and get you field event finals later on as the meet continues. Again, we're hearing teams, or yes, specifically, here we go individually for some field. So, long jumps, Kirsten Maas, sounded like from Liberty Center, winning the long jump. Kirsten Maas, a senior from Liberty Center, with a jump of, sounded like close to 17.
Yeah, that's getting out there.
Or shot put.
Fourth place, Napoleon. Third place, Tenora. Second place with a combined distance of 128 feet, 10.5 inches, Defiance. And winning the boys shot put, Liberty Center. With a team total of 151 feet, 10.5 inches.
Liberty Center wins the team shot put.
Liberty Center took the top 3 spots. Brady Geesky threw 51, 1.5. Hunter Spangler threw 50 feet, 10.5. Max Walker threw to Liberty Center.
So Brady Giese finishing first in the shot put for Liberty Center. Matter of fact, they finished in the top 3 spots.
Also, results of the boys 4x1600 meter relay.
We gave you, we had it here for you, the boys 4x1600 meter relay.
Second place, Napoleon.
Defiance won.
And winning the boys 4x1 mile. The team of Defiance. Team time 20 minutes 7.02 seconds.
So 27:02. Congratulations to Defiance. Tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a quick time out. A quick timeout. When we come back, we will have, I believe it's going to be the girls 4x1600 meter relay, if I'm not mistaken. See a few warming up down on the track. We'll get it sorted out for you, though. Quick break. Back with more of the Palmer Relays right after this on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back to Fred Brown Stadium, the home of the Defiance Bulldogs. You get a good look from our sky cam here up on the very top level of the press box. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. It is the running of the 48th annual Defiance Palmer Relays. Most of the field events have wrapped up. However, I believe there is still some pole vault action going on as we have one relay now in the books. It was the boys 4x1600, and congratulations going out to Defiance as they won. They won going away, not to use a track joke, but in 20:07.2. And they had a strong first leg from Zane Bland, but then legs 2 and 3. Hendrix Myers and Max Keck Priest were just dominant. And by the time the exchange was made for the anchor leg in Josiah Gonzalez, he was running against the wind, to use a Bob Seeger term. Scoop, Defiance was just dominant in picking up the win in the first relay here today.
Yeah, I thought every leg was really solid, but those middle 2 legs is what really got that separation. It was really anybody's race after the initial 1600s. But once that second and third leg kicked in there, Defiance just continued to get a little bit more distance against the pack, and they win it going away.
Napoleon took second in a time of 20:27.92. Tenora third, almost a minute later, 21:07.42. And then Liberty Center, who was a tight third at the end of the opening leg, finishes fourth in a time of 21:26.59. According to our meet schedule here, up next should be the girls 4x1600 meter relay. Now, Scoop, we don't see anybody right now. We've seen some, what we believe to be team members from each individual relay squad kind of warming up, but there is the possibility that they might be waiting on some of their other teammates to finish up some of the field events, because right now everybody's just kind of in a hurry up and wait situation.
Well, that's how it works at track meets sometimes, especially when you have different flights over there at the field events. Sometimes you're available to run and sometimes you aren't. So again, part of getting started, but again, those are the 2 long races they try to run as the first 2 events on the track. And after that, things typically will speed up.
So in a situation like this, if you're waiting on a teammate or maybe a couple, again, not unlike maybe a rain delay in baseball, especially if you are a pitcher, but how do you stay focused? Number one, what are you doing physically? You haven't probably spent too much energy other than maybe a couple of warm-ups, but mentally, what are you doing as far as visualization, maybe relaxation, just to try and stay in that zone, so to speak, that you're ready to compete?
Well, a lot of these kids have their own routines, and some of them involved doing some stretching or doing some ballistic stretching. Sometimes that involves having the headphones on and listening to some psych music, but a lot of times too it's just kids kind of the quiet time where they're just really kind of being their own mental coach, visualizing, like you said, trying to see themselves through the event, and of course in the relays through those exchanges. And again, the fact that all these things are relays, some of these kids don't have a lot of reps as far as exchanges and so forth. So we see that right now going on the backside of the track. We're seeing, looks like Tenora working on some exchanges.
Yep.
And what could be, schedule-wise, what would be the next event would be the girls 4x100 meter shuttle hurdle. But I don't see the hurdles being set up just yet, and they're probably going to try to get that 4x1600 girls event in, but I think they are waiting for the field events to conclude.
They want to get the longest events out of the way early, because once that happens, the rest of these relays are going to go by pretty much, I don't want to say in the blink of an eye, but they're going to go by quickly.
Yeah, they will. And again, the fact that Defiance has done such a great job with this meet over the years, they've been there, done that. They do a great job of trying to keep things on time. But again, of course, you're always contingent on some of those athletes who are both in field events and also in the relays.
I don't know if Ryan up on the top deck there can maybe just do a quick pan of the entire field and track here, but what you don't see are a lot of athletes just kind of sitting around on the infield. Okay, if anybody, I'll tell you what, we won't be too picky. If anybody can give us a pan of the field, if you aren't out warming up right now, if you aren't working on exchanges or just loosening up, you don't see any of the athletes just kind of socializing or lounging on the infield. And it goes back to what we were talking about, Scoop. The heat down on the field will take a lot out of you before you even start to compete. A lot of them have come into either the stands or the locker room areas, I should say, to get some shade, maybe even rehydrate a little bit, but they're trying to conserve as much energy as possible.
Yeah, what they're not doing, they're not walking up to the press box like you and I have done here a couple of times here this afternoon, where it's not just a leisurely walk in the park.
You need a Sherpa to get up here, buddy. I joked with Coach Rittenauer. I said, we could set up a zip line, but that only works one way. If you want to try and climb up here, you could. He will poor boy, but I'll tell you something. He's in good shape himself. He really is. But it's one of those situations where, as young, and everybody says, oh, you got plenty of oil in your joints and plenty of fuel in your tank. Yeah, but we're not competing. They are. So you've got to be smart. When you coach track, what was, say let's use this as an example, for a meet or a competition on a Thursday, what was training, what was nutrition, what was preparation in general like starting on Monday?
Well, again, it depends on the event and the athlete, of course, but we always, especially early in the season, really trying to get that strong base conditioning going. And the thing that we always try to do, I should say my wife, always trying to, you want to peak. Our goal was we wanted to peak at state tournament, but you wanted to be getting closer and closer, when the sectional district / was around the corner, the league meet, of course, around the corner and so forth. But again, that's what you kind of geared your training by. So you might have suffered a couple meets early because you were maybe overly exhausted, but that was a part of the process of getting you to peak at the right time. And so as the season unwinds, the training regimen, differs from athlete to athlete. But again, usually to simplify it, the day before, you were still doing some intense reps, but it's going to be a lot less duration for that. But again, we wanted those kids. Most of the kids, when you're coaching at a smaller school, you got those kids that are in 3 or 4 events all the time. So that played into it as well.
Still waiting for the start of what we believe will be next up. Should be the girls 4 by 1600 meter relay, but we are under, again, an educated guess that they're waiting on the last of the field events to wrap up in order for all teams to be able to be 100%. So what we're going to do is step out, take another break. We are in a hurry up and wait situation right now. Right now you are watching coverage of the 48th annual Defiance Palmer Relays on DCTV Sports. We welcome you back after somewhat of an extended delay. Fred Brown Stadium is the location. The event is the Defiance 48th Annual Palmer Relays. The Defiance Bulldogs hosting Tenora, Napoleon, and Liberty Center. Brent Balbadon alongside Scoop Miller. Well, they are moving, trying to get things moved up. We know that the weather is on the way. We had been waiting for the girls 4x1600 relay, but they still had some members that we believe that were going to be participating in that still hadn't finished their field events. So they're going to move up, and we're going to be calling now the girls 4x100 meter shuttle hurdle. Tenora will see senior Kaylee Dickinson as your lead. Carly Oakley, a tremendous all-around athlete, will run second. Erica Westrick will be third, and Emma Sheets, the sophomore, will bring it up in fourth. For Defiance, Samantha Hohenberger will be the starter. Ariana Torres, a freshman, will run the second leg. Kendalline Krekel, who was busy doing pole vault, will run third, and Jocelyn Wren will be the anchor. For Napoleon, it is sophomore. They don't have a grade down for Lily Cruz. Sophomore Emma Reynolds will start it, followed by Lily Cruz. Freshman Renee Schnitke, and then junior Molly Rosebrook will be the anchor. And for Liberty Center, it goes junior, sophomore, junior, senior, Maddie Bailey, Aletha Fosnight, Annika Legg, and Nicole Keller. And Scoop, as long as the relays have been, these are going to be incredibly quick. It's basically just down and back.
Yeah, this is always an entertaining relay. The girls 4x100 meter shuttle hurdles. These hurdles are set at 30 inches. Last year's champion was Napoleon, and 3 of those 4 ladies that comprise that relay team are running here in this event, as you just mentioned. The sophomore Emma Reynolds, also Lily Cruz, and then the junior Molly Rosebrook. 3 of those 4 looking to repeat from that title a year ago, where they ran that in a time of, if I can find it here, 1 minute, 8 seconds, or 8.87 seconds.
There you go.
So
yep.
Impressive time there.
Wind starting to pick up just a little bit, blowing across the stadium, so shouldn't be too much of a head or a tailwind for that matter for these runners. Still trying to gather them up here. Going to start out of the blocks, so you're going to have teammates helping make sure that those are solid. Well, as is common, especially with some of these smaller schools, you're going to have athletes that compete in multiple events. And as such, you simply are at the mercy of their schedule. Looking down at the far end. And in particular, I'm looking at Tenora's Carly Oakley, getting some sort of last-second coaching, some strategy.
And Brenton, as they're getting ready, we've got a few results in here that we could read. I know we've tried to pass along what's been given to us.
Feel free.
But event 2, the boys shot put relay, winning team was Liberty Center. They'll garner 6 points for that. Defiance will get second and 4. Tenora gets 2 for third. And Napoleon did not have enough to field a team in that, so that's why there's just a score of 6-4 and 2. On the, well, anyways, the individual leader was Brady Giesige, who was able to toss the shot 51 feet, 1.5 inches. So great job there by the junior Brady Giesige of Liberty Center. And the girls' long jump, the winning team was the Liberty Center Tigers. So with that first pace effort, they'll get 6 points. Tenora finished second. They'll get 4 points. Napoleon finished in third with 2 points. The individual winner was Addison Lee, who was able to go 17 feet 2 inches from Tenora. just edging out Kirsten Moss of Liberty Center, who went 16-9. And then third place was Kaylee Stoner of Liberty Center, who went 15-11. In the boys long jump, Tenora was the team champ, going a distance of 60 feet and 3 inches. Defiance was second. They'll get the 4 points, and Napoleon finished in third. The individual winner was Luke Westfall of Defiance. The junior leapt 21 feet and 3/4 of an inch, followed by Tenora's Ryan Steingass, who went 20 feet 10 inches to garner second. And then Steingass's teammate Owen Ackerman jumped 20 feet 6.5 inches to get third place there for the Rams.
All right, you might have heard PA announcer Steve Wall. The second call for the girls 4x100 meter shuttle hurdle has now gone out. The boys' first call has gone out, as we are very close to really getting into the teeth of this meet now. It's been a little bit of a delay, but the field events look like they have wrapped up.
Yeah, things are starting to happen. More and more people heading down the track, and as we're waiting for the third and final call here for the shuttle relay, we'll give you the girls' pole vault results. For the team standings, Defiance was first place with a total mark of 24 feet even. They will get 6 points for first. Liberty Center just back at 23 feet. They finished in second. Then Tenora with a combined total of 21 feet 6 inches. Napoleon, they get third there with 2 points. The individual winner for the girls' pole vault belonged to Quinn Bailey, as she repeats, as last year as a freshman she was also the champion, and this year the sophomore from Liberty Center was able to go 10 feet. Second place belonged to Kindlin Krekel of Defiance. She was able to go 9 feet. And third place from Napoleon, Audrey Schilt, as the sophomore Schilt cleared 8 feet 6 inches to get third place overall.
Just kind of get a feeling the buzz is now starting to kick in. Again, the field event started at 4:30. And they are all but wrapped up. I believe there is still the last remnants of the shot put going on right now. But with that said, we've got the boys 4x1600 meter relay already in the books, and the girls 4x100 meter shuttle is about to become the second relay of the night. Third and final call. If you aren't ready by now, Scoop, I'm not sure what else to say.
Well, these athletes are rearing to go, and while they're giving this, we'll give one more final result, and that's going to be the girls 4x1600 meter relay. The winning team ended up being Liberty Center, followed by Napoleon. Defiance was third, and Liberty Center was able to break the tape in 23 minutes, 12.66 seconds, and that team consisted of Gracie Miller, Colby Strayer, Leah Orr, Michaela Miller. So congratulations to Liberty Center for winning the girls 4x1600 meter relay.
So here we go. You heard the whistle sound. Third call has been given, and everybody in the blocks. Again, girls 4x100 meter shuttle hurdle. For Tenora, the lead will be Kaylee Dickinson. For Defiance, Samantha Hohenberger. Napoleon, Emma Reynolds. And Liberty Center, Maddie Bailey. She will be running in the outside lane, lane 7. So you got Dickinson and Hohenberger running side by side. Likewise for Reynolds, and they are off. And after a little bit of a late start out of the blocks, Emma Reynolds starting to pull away. Hohenberger on her heels for second. And going into the final hurdle, it will be Napoleon with the lead. Running the second leg, Carly Oakley for Tenora. For Defiance, freshman Ariana Torres. Lily Cruz for Napoleon, and Aletha Faustbright for Liberty Center. And right now, it is Cruz cruising for Napoleon. Huge lead for the third leg, Renee Schnitke. Coming on strong is Annika Legg for Liberty Center. For Defiance, it is Kendall Krekel. And bringing up the rear, it is Erica Westrick for Tenora. But this is all Napoleon right now, as the anchor Molly Rosebrook looking very strong, Scoop.
The Defiance looking strong there as they're going to make a push here as they take second place here.
Jocelyn Wren and Nicole Keller for Liberty Center, but it will be Defiance to finish second. And coming up in fourth place will be Emma Sheets for Tenora. And again, Emma Sheets, a sophomore. This is tough for a lot of these underclassmen, Scoop, because everybody will tell you, you kind of have to eat some raw meat before you can finally have a home-cooked meal as an upperclassman. This is such a technical relay that sometimes you kind of have to swallow your pride and learn how to run this particular relay.
Yeah, it is, and that's one of the beauties of this relay, the way it's designed here. This is the only time you're really going to see a shuttle hurdle relay. But again, quality experience, the fact they get a chance to compete out here in front of a nice crowd. And again, great race here. Always fun to watch the shuttle hurdle.
You heard the first call, and I believe even the second call go out for the boys for the 4x100 meter relay, and they are ready. For Tenora, it will be Andon Ankeny to open it up. For Liberty Center, Camden Cayley. Defiance's Joe Robinson will have the opening leg, and for Napoleon, Eli Snopley.
And for the boys shuttle relay, they do raise the hurdles from 30 inches to 33. And they also they need to space them differently on the track as well. So that's what we're waiting on right now as they we hear the third call. They're adjusting the hurdles.
Getting the spacing down, and as Scoop mentioned, the height down.
You know, last year in this boys 4x110 meter hurdle, Defiance was the champion at 105.85 seconds, and they returned all four guys that won it from a year ago, and Joseph Hasselbring, Isaac Dankworth, Mitchell Taylor, Nicasio Hall, and three of those four will be running here in this particular relay today. So a chance to go back to back will be Hasselbring, Taylor, and Hall for Defiance.
Again, Tenora will be on the inside lane. That's Andon Ankeny, a senior. Defiance's junior Joe Robinson, a lane over. Napoleon's Eli Snopley will be running in lane 5. And Liberty Center and junior Camden Cayley will have the outside lane. And right there you can see some of these guys as they're just trying. It is so tough. If your footing is off, especially after the first hurdle, Scoop, it really creates problems for the rest of the race.
That's so important, the timing, you know, and a lot of these guys might be 5-stride guys where you're one time you're going to lead with the right leg. The next hurdle you may lead with the left. Just kind of depends on where your comfort zone is, and maybe your stature and height and so forth is certainly going to play in as well. But they are getting ready for the guys. And again, unlike the girls was 4x100. The guys is 4x110. So that's the reason they adjusted the spacing of the hurdles.
I believe PA announcer Steve Wall has asked for the checking of a couple of hurdles. There are some right in front of us here that look like they might need to be adjusted. We'll wait and see. Coach Steve Rittenauer going over everything with a fine-tooth comb, and they found one that was pretty much noticeable up here. They're going to get them set, going to get them even, and making sure that nobody has an advantage or disadvantage.
Well, they look in a much straighter line than before, I will say that.
The second hurdle in particular, or second row I should say, was not synced up.
Well, from this vantage up here, up high, where we're looking down, you can see the top of the hurdles, which are white, so it should be a straight line. Those lines that we were looking at look like a Tom held line from first to third base.
Oh, he has retired, and now you go after him. Goodness gracious. Should have brought him up and let him do some color.
Well, thankfully now they have the machines. Of course,
wake, and he has his footing down. He does clip one, he clips two, and clips the third, but yet he still is going to finish In first place, here comes the second leg for Defiance. This is going to be Andrew Irizarry for Tenora, Abraham Jimenez for Napoleon Daniel Sauber. And look at, Tenora go as Abraham Jimenez back and forth with Irizarry. Good 1-2 punch, and it will be Defiance out of the blocks quickly for leg number 3. This is Luke Westfall, and he's one of their aces, and we're seeing why. Putting some distance between him and the rest of the pack. And it will be the speedster. Well, it was supposed to be Anthony Wilder for Defiance. My goodness, the race right now is for second. At a time of roughly 1:05, I think .2, we'll wait and see, but Defiance claims it and claims it commandingly.
Well, that was an impressive run there by Defiance. They came out right away, and we saw Napoleon Tenora kind of make a push there, but Defiance able to really stretch that lead out. An impressive win here for the Bulldogs.
Hurdles will be cleared as we expect the pace of this meet now to really quickly pick up. So I believe up next we're going to have the boys 4x110. Well, no, we're not. The shuttles, or pardon me, the hurdles being cleared.
Should be the girls' distance medley coming up. And for the distance medley, the order will be the leadoff runner will go 800 meters. The second leg will go 400 meters. The third leg will also go 400 meters. And then the fourth and final leg, the anchor, will go 1,600 meters. So this should be a very interesting medley coming up. All said and done, you know, it's going to end up being 2 miles. So.
Yep. All right, making sure my heat sheet's properly numbered here. I believe I am now finding my groove. We had a considerable delay, but now picking up here.
And last year's champion in the girls' distance medley was the Tenora Rams, who finished the 3,200 meters in 10 minutes, 14.18 seconds. Running that race last year for Tenora was Addison Gherkin, Julia Durfee, Addison Lee, Lauren Sattler, and of those ladies right there, 3 of them will be running here this afternoon. Julia Durfee will lead off here for the Rams, followed by Addison Gherkin. Carly Oakley was not a part of that winning team last year, will run in the 3rd spot, and then Lauren Sattler, who anchored that winning team last year, running that final 1,600 meters, she will run that spot again. And again, they had an impressive time of 10:14. The record for the girls' distance medley is 10 minutes and 7 seconds. So certainly something that might be within their grasp. Maybe a little bit too breezy here this afternoon to maybe take that record down, but certainly
well, the lead leg for Napoleon will be a sophomore, Killian Pedroza. For Liberty Center will be junior Libby Zeiter. As you heard Scoop mention, Julia Durfee, a very seasoned athlete, a junior. And then for Defiance, it will be senior Jocelyn Wren. The starter's waiting for clearance. The white flag is up right now. Again, I don't know if we can get a good pan. There you see towards the, what would be the south side of the stadium, where the batons are already in hand, but everybody's stationed at their respective spots around the track here. Here's that moment just before the starter's pistol sounds, where you're trying to stay loose but trying to stay locked in, trying to stay focused and keep your head clear.
Well, this is going to be the 4x100 meter relay coming up, so apologies on that. So this will definitely be a quickie. The record belongs to Toledo Central Catholic back in 2003 at 50.2 2.20 seconds.
All right. So
Last year, Liberty Center won this event, and they have 2 of those athletes back in Kaylee Stoner and Ellie Moeller.
So with the 4x1, we do have some changes in the relay to let you know about. For Defiance, it will be sophomore Adriella Jordan to run the opening leg. Audrey Schilt, another sophomore, will run it for Napoleon. For Tenora, junior Eowyn Blanchard. And for Liberty Center, Kaylee Stoner. And they are off.
The handoff so important in these 4x1s. Right there, everybody clean
quick.
there
Yep.
on the first.
Defiance out strong, but how about the second leg here by Liberty Center's Aaliyah Minich? And now you talk about gumming things up. This is going to be tight. Exchange going to be critical.
Nice job by Addison Lee there, the Rams, to really cover some distance.
This is Kirsten Moss for Liberty Center that will give them the lead on the final exchange. We'll see if anybody can make up the distance, but right now Liberty Center looking too strong for Tenora. Scout Temple will try and finish up second. There's going to be a battle for third and fourth place, and it looks like bridging through will be Defiance's Zamora Hill.
Wow, what a strong race that time by Liberty Center. And if you watch that carefully, their exchanges were nearly flawless.
Yep.
They did such a great job there of getting that acceleration and putting that baton in that opposite hand. And wow, that was a flawless job, and they will repeat as back-to-back champions. Kaylee Stoner and Ellie Moeller were part of last year's team, as we mentioned. They go back-to-back, but team-wise, Liberty Center goes back-to-back as well.
So up next, I believe we are going to have, and I see the boys there. I'm not going to start talking before we can at least make an educated guess, but this looks like we're going to have a 4x100 meter relay for the boys.
Yeah, this will be another one of those quick races. Last year's winners were Napoleon. And from that winning team, Hayden Gherkin will be the anchor for the Wildcats. The Liberty Center will start out with Camden Cayley, the junior. Tenor will start out with Andon Ankney, the senior. Defiance will go with Joe Robinson, the junior. And Ellie Snapley, the senior for Napoleon, will lead things off here in this 4x100.
Be interesting to see. I'm going to look out to the anchor here and see who is going to be running that for Defiance. It is supposed to be, and it certainly looks like it's going to be, Anthony Wilder. He did not run the anchor in the shuttle hurdle, even though he was scheduled to. So he is on the track now, though. And when you talk about fast, I don't think there's anybody faster in a Defiance uniform.
Yeah, you certainly want to keep an eye on that youngster this afternoon.
He was a blazer in football.
Blazing speed on the turf, and I'm sure not much difference on the track here.
Yeah, you don't have the pads basically bagging you down, right? You can run a little bit looser, a little bit freer.
No, you're right.
You can pick them up and lay them down.
And Napoleon last year, who won it as a team, ran it in a time of 44.09.
As they're getting set and situated into the blocks. The boys, 4x100 meter relay.
The all-time record belongs to Toledo Macomber at 42.7 seconds back in 1988. And they're off.
Buzzer sounds and they're moving. Eli Snopley running out of the far lane. Again, looks like smooth exchanges through the first. Right now, Napoleon and Defiance running a strong 1 and 2. This is Irizarry and Sauber. Third leg for Defiance. This is going to be Luke Westfall. He's one of their fastest, and he's got Anthony Wilder waiting. Good exchange, and this is going to be fun to watch as the West Side brings him home. Anthony Wilder looking strong, looking good, looking like a winner as he finishes ahead of Napoleon's Hayden Gherkin for second place. But when you saw Westfall get that separation and the clean exchange with Anthony Wilder, not to say we were going to put the cart before the horse, but it was going to take something special for somebody to beat Anthony Wilder.
Yeah, look out. They're exactly where they wanted to be at that exchange, and Wilder took it home. An impressive time there. I think that was sub 46. We'll wait and see the official results.
My goodness. Wind picking up. We're hoping that the rain holds off as we're now starting to see this meet move with a little bit more tempo. Technically up next, we believe it's going to be the girls' distance medley, but we will wait and see. And it certainly looks like that's going to be the case. Scoop, keys to this event.
Well, you want to get out quick, but remember, the bottom line is going to come down to that 1,600 meters there, the last leg, because that's going to be, you know, about half the time of this race. So obviously you want to get in good position. And again, the way they do this for this medley relay, the last anchor will be that 1,600. And then also the first anchor will be 800. And then the middle two will be 400 each. So basically 2 laps for the first runner, 1 for each the second, third, then 4 laps for that final leg.
Well, running the opening leg for Napoleon will be the sophomore Killian Pedroza for Liberty Center, Liberty Zider for Tenora, Julia Durfee, and for Defiance, Jocelyn Wren. And I will say this, having seen Liberty Center's Libby Zider earlier this year, on another relay scoop, she might be an anchor. They are very, very loaded, and she can pick them up and put them down. Waiting for the starter, and they are moving. Completely different than what you're seeing in the sprints. This is all about measuring yourself, making sure you keep good tempo, but at the same time, you don't want to fall too far behind in the early going. We talked about this before. You can't win it in the first leg, but sometimes you can lose it.
Well, that's a great point. And again, certainly an important leg here where you're going 800 meters twice around here. And again, you want to get off to a positive start. Again, this is one of those kind of in-between races. It's not a sprint, but it's also not a long-distance race either. So you have to really be able to really just kind of gut this out, because it's almost more of a sprint than it is anything else. But 800 meters is a long way to go, as we all know.
Right now, pack looking like a 2-person pack coming around the 4th turn in the first leg, as Tenora's Julia Durfee and Defiance's Jocelyn Wren. Pretty tight. A few meters back will be Liberty Center's Libby Zider and Napoleon's Killian Pedroza. A little bit of a shorter stride. Coming out of the first turn on the second lap. Looks like Julia Durfee wants the lead. Wren will give it to her. I don't want to say a 2-person race, but right now it's shaping up to be that way.
Well, again, Durfee was part of that winning team a year ago.
And look at this. Jocelyn Wren making a bit of a move coming up on the outside shoulder. Libby Zider looking like she's trying to pick up her kick a little bit, but falling behind. And how about this? Jocelyn Wren kicking it into a second gear.
Yeah, great job by Wren. Durfee was trying to fight her off there in the curve, try to force her to run in 2 lanes.
Look at where she's starting her kick scoop this far out. Jocelyn Wren kicking it into overdrive and giving some good separation to Kendall Rittenhouse. Durfee will make the exchange to Addison Gherkin. Libby Zider about to hand it off to Nicole Keller. And boy, Zider's short stride there bent over hustling. And now hits the deck as the last exchange will come. Pedroza to Schnitke for Napoleon. Right now leading the charge, Kendall Rittenhouse. Boy, look at what she's spending some energy. If she can maintain this pace, Scoop, this is going to be a statement.
Well, she's doing a great job. And remember, the second leg is 1 lap, but she's really made this a sprint here. She now has maybe a 35-meter advantage over to Nora. And here she hits the last 60 meters.
Samantha Hohenberger waiting for the exchange. At least that's supposed to be Sam. The exchange at the end of the zone. Waiting eagerly is Tenora's Carly Oakley. They've got it. She's got some ground to make up. Liberty Center's Nicole Keller about to hand off to Marley Myers. And bringing up the rear, Schnitke about to hand it off to the freshman Addison Butler. But right now, in charge, Defiance. My goodness. I'm looking at Carly Oakley's stride, and that would be a winning stride against virtually anybody else. But right now, the distance looks like the gap is just getting a little bit wider.
That's hard to believe because Oakley looks like she's really going to town, but the separation continues to increase here.
And I'm looking here. This looks like they've got a change in the Defiance lineup here because it looks like Hohenberger is actually going to be running the anchor late here. So this might be Leila Briseño as the exchange is made. Carly Oakley about to hand it off to Lauren Sattler. But Defiance, barring something unforeseen, is going to run away with this one.
Yeah, just don't call it too soon. Remember, this is last leg here is going to be 4 laps here. So,
True.
Again, a lot of time, but again, a lot of distance, as you're mentioning, Brent. Just incredible.
Well, the key here, so let me ask you this, because almost, not quite, maybe a quarter of the track, but if you're Sattler, how much energy do you burn early to try and get within striking distance, or do you have a certain spot at a certain lap where you decide this is where I'm going to pick up my tempo and try and make up the distance?
Well, you know, as a competitor, you know you're going to try to kick it in gear sooner probably, but again, the key is you got to run your race. I mean, you run your best race, you try to get your PR, and you do that by doing the same thing over and over. You're not going to try, I'm going to try harder today because we're behind or whatever it might be. And now we're starting to get some rain starting to come down.
It's coming
here.
down. It is coming down.
Pretty good.
So we want to make sure our crew is safe and make sure that the equipment is covered. But we're not telling you anything you don't know. Water and electric equipment do not play well together. So we will wait and see. Right now, I'm going to keep an eye on our producer, and Tristan's going to let me know. But right now, we're going to continue to broadcast. Okay. We are running 1 camera right now. This is it. So our apologies, but our crew safety is of the utmost importance, and we are just running this static camera right now at the finish line.
And Lauren Sattler really looking good right now for Tenora, trying to catch up a little bit here with Defiance, who had that large lead, but still Defiance up here about 25 meters. But Sattler really closing the gap here 2 laps into this last leg.
Halfway through the last lap. Right now, you would still call it a significant lead, but as you're talking about, Scoop, it looks like the kick, if you will, for Lauren Sattler is still looking pretty good. And for Defiance, shortening up just a little bit.
Remember, Sattler was part of that winning team a year ago, so certainly has the experience. And again, one of the top distance runners around. That's why this is always a critical leg of this distance medley. And there, at the halfway mark of this final leg, she's able to pass the Bulldogs there. So right now, looking good. Again, the all-time record is 10 minutes and 7 seconds by Defiance, set in 2010, and they're going to be,
I would say,
really pushing that.
She's going to be close. She is going to be close.
Yeah, I know she's expended a lot of energy here in this first 2.5 laps, but she just continues to get further separation. So, boy, she's been looking really strong here. It's just not let up. Can she keep this out through the duration? We'll see in a little bit.
Right now, Sattler did just a tremendous job of pacing herself on the final leg. What'd you say the record time was?
Record time is 10:07.62 by Defiance 14 years ago.
Boy, this is going to be close, and I think we may be looking at a new record. Sattler may actually lap Napoleon. This is one of those situations where you got to be aware if you're the lead runner to move to get out of the way. But Sattler, yeah, we're going to see a new record as she gets set to cross the finish line.
Yeah, one more lap.
One left.
Yep. So again,
we'll see.
It's going to be close. I mean,
It's
how
gonna
much
be
she
close.
has in the tank is going to determine it. But wow, she's expended so much here through the first 3 laps. But right now, just approaching the 9-minute mark. So certainly going to come down to the wire here. But we could see a new meet record here. The Palmer relays for the girls' distance medley relay. Will she hit that wall like so many do on that last lap of the last leg?
Stride might be a little bit shorter, but in all honesty, Scoop, the pace looks still very, very strong. See what she's got left as she comes into the final turn.
Well,
And
she's going to have to kick it
Yeah.
in, but we'll see what's left in the tank. She certainly is gutting it out, giving every ounce she has.
I'm guessing she's going to be close. Well,
I think she's
guessing
gonna
is
get
going out on a limb, but
I
we'll
think
wait and
she's
see.
got to get it. She's really
She's
looking
got a kick,
strong
and she
here,
does have
look at
some
this.
left.
Using her arms well. Stride length is really lengthened out here.
She is going to, is she going to, what do we have, about 10, maybe 10:01 and some change?
Right about 10. So unofficially, that would be, if I'm reading my math right here, that'd be a new meet record by about 7 seconds. But again, impressive run there all the way around by the Rams, who are now back-to-back champions.
Defiance will finish second. And we'll give you a rough time here at about 10:27, maybe 10:28. As the rain has lightened up a little bit, but it's still I'll call it a light sprinkle. And I'm not sure, right now you're looking at the only cam that we are operating right now. As we have called in our other manned cameras. I'm not sure if we can set something up here. We can move over a little bit, Tristan, if that would help. We've got plenty of space on the top level of the press box here.
Right now, Liberty Center starting to kick it in here for 3rd place. This is Jade Seiler, the junior, finishing strong here for the Tigers.
And right now, running the anchor leg for Napoleon is Emily Van Danderbergy. Well, that is about as Dutch as it comes.
Vandenberg. Yeah, she right now is going to finish, bring her team into 4th place here. But again, such a gruesome race here. Great job by all these competitors out here. And how about Tenor going back to back? That's an impressive crew there for this distance.
Strong
medley.
finish. Strong finish. Well, it is windy. Some very dark clouds off to our right, which would be the south here, are continuing to move over the track. And
There you see Vandenberg finish across there for the Wildcats.
Ladies and gentlemen, per decision by the officials, we are going to delay the meet for 1/2 hour
Wow.
due to the fact that lightning has been spotted in the area.
Okay, so I'm not sure if that was audible over our crowd mics, but PA announcer Steve Wall saying that lightning has been spotted in the area and a delay in this meet for 30 minutes at minimum is going to now take place. Do you have some other finals that you want to give in the meantime?
I have a few events that have been reported to us, and we'll give you the results. We'll start with the boys high jump relay. Tenora was the winning team with a combined mark of 17 feet 11 inches. That's a new meet record for the Rams, so congratulations to Tenora. They were led by Owen Ackerman, who was able to clear 6 feet 5 inches, followed by Aiden Rittenhouse of the Rams, was able to clear 5 feet 10. And then third for Tenora was Jacob Bishop, also clearing 5 feet 8. So they actually finished 1, 2, and 3 as well, as Bishop tied with Defiance's Heaven Dalton going 5'8". So great job there. Again, new meet record for Tenora. And that record beats Lima Senior and Tenora. Set that record. Lima Senior set it in 2010, tied by Tenora last year at 17:10. And this record now 1 inch further, 17:11, set by the Rams. And then we also have the results of the boys pole vault relay.
Okay.
Liberty Center with a total score of 34 feet finishes in first place. Tenora at 29 feet 6 inches is second. Defiance garners the third place spot at 27 feet. The top pole vaulter was Liberty Center's Colton Chambers. The senior went 12 feet even. His teammate Tyler Roars finished tied for second with a clearing 11 feet 6 inches. And then Andon Ankney of the Tenora Rams also was able to go 11-6 here, tied for second place. So great job, and Liberty Center will get the 6 points for first place. And the last event I have here to pass along is the girls high jump relay. Liberty Center going 14 feet 11.5 inches finishes first. Napoleon at 13:10 will get second place. Tenora at 12 feet 11 inches in second. Individually, the top mark there as far as the girls high jump goes to Emerson Gherkin of Liberty Center, who was able to clear 5 feet 3.5 inches. Tremendous jump, just 1.5 inches off the record. And then Molly Rosebrock from Napoleon was able to get second at 5 feet even. And then in third place, we had 3 young ladies all clear 4:10. Lila Huddle of Napoleon, Maddie Bailey of Liberty Center, and Aletha Fosnight of Liberty Center all went 4:10. So congratulations, lady, and congratulations, Liberty Center, on getting that girls high jump relay title.
Well, just in front of 7 o'clock, again, lightning in the area, and the 48th annual Defiance Palmer Relays is at least in a 30-minute delay due to lightning. To be honest, I'm not sure if we're going to resume. I'm looking off to the south here, and it is incredibly dark. We know that rain is on the way. We will wait and see, but at least for the meantime, a 30-minute delay. We are going to step out. Hopefully we'll be back with more. Don't you go anywhere. You are watching live coverage of the 48th annual Defiance Palmer Relays on DCTV Sports. Well, we welcome you back to Fred Brown Stadium. We are under a weather delay right now, at least 30 minutes. Although, Scoop, you think maybe you saw lightning off in the distance.
I don't see any
anytime that
lightning.
thing flashes.
No lightning.
This man is lightning. He's lightning in a hot skillet is what he is, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Rittenauer coming up and joining us. What are we going to do? We're going to talk a little bit about what happened, at least till the point where they had to take the athletes off the track. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. Coach, before we actually talk about some of today's results, let's just talk about preparation and the season to date and where this club is now compared to, say, when you started.
Well, you know, the first thing, we had a lot of new faces this year. And a lot of those new faces had to get used to the track. And finally, we're getting some good weather. The kids are working hard. This is obviously a big meet for us with it being the home opener. And for us, even though it should be our home closer, it's actually our home opener. So we've been focusing on this for quite a while. And it's one of those unique meets where you have a lot of different events that people at sprint medley, the distance medley. So it's a great opportunity to get a lot of people in. And the key to these meets are always your third person, especially in the field events. You got to get that third person over opening height. You got to get that third throw in. And this, like I said, that gives kids a lot of opportunity. Good thing is we've been to a meet like this before with Walpole Relays, where our girls, they won their first meet of the year. So it sort of gets you ready for that. But, you know, like I said, this is a big meet for us, and we've been this is one of those meets that you get ready for, and it's also unique in the fact that this is it before the league meet.
Yes.
The league meet starts next Wednesday, so this is one of those fun meets that we always like, that you can get a lot of people in, and you can start, I don't want to say experiment, but you can start seeing how certain people might respond to certain situations. We found some throwers and some jumpers here at the Palmers that we might have not thought about using at the league meet, and they come through today. And like I said, hopefully we can find some of those gyms, and we'll be all right.
This man is like the scientist in the lab.
No.
He's got all kinds of combinations. I have him on this notepad, but Scoop, he swore me to silence. So that way when he springs it on the rest of the conference, everybody's going to go, wow, Rittenauer's a genius.
Or the other thing.
It's a
There's a
50-50
fine
shot.
line
We're
there.
going to flip a coin.
There's a lot of fine line there.
Scoop, you've got some finals, though, from some field events. Fire them off for us and get Coach's responses how the Bulldogs did in some of those events today.
Yeah, for the boys' shot put, Liberty Center was the top team, going 151 feet 10 inches. Defiance fouled in second place, so it was certainly a good showing there in the shot put for you guys.
You know, Liberty Center has, since I've been back and probably since I was throwing, they've always been good in the field events. They've got a great athletic program out there. And, you know, that's a great measuring tool for a lot of our guys. We haven't seen guys throw like that before, so it was I thought we responded well. We've got a lot, like I said, most of our guys are juniors. We've got, you know, Kelton Gibbs is a sophomore. He's never thrown before. So to go out there and see a couple of those guys hit 50, that's a nice target. You know, we talked before the meet, if we could get second, I'd be very pleased. I mean, Liberty's saying, you know, coming in, they're going to be good. They're going to be good in the discus. They take their track pretty seriously over there, as do all these teams here today. It's a great, but I was very pleased. We talked about that. If we got second, I was going to be very happy. Like I said, we PR'd. I think both guys PR'd. Gibbs PR'd last week. You know, it's still through, like, I think 43, 44.
Yes,
so we'll take that. That's a great effort for those guys.
Yeah, Liberty Center, you know, their football success they had getting state run-up last year. A lot of these guys are also in wrestling. You know, we know how they've been dominant
I think
in
everybody
the power
over
events.
there is about 6'5".
That's what happens when you have solid athletes decide to stay home, right?
Yes.
Not stretch their legs. Pardon me, folks. I was closing the window here. It's coming down sideways right now as I'm looking out there. Hopefully, I guess before we go any farther, you're going to be able to get this in and finish it, or do you?
With Jerry Beauty in charge, yeah, we might be here till midnight, but yeah, we're going to get it. We're going to get it done.
Let's order some pizza, and that we can make that work then, right? Problem is, play very well with each other.
Good
That's why we
conductor.
had him inside. So, what else you got there?
The
Scoop?
next event I have is the girls' long jump, where Liberty Center won that with a total of 47 feet, 7 3/4 inches, fouled by Tenor, Napoleon Defiance. But for Defiance, Adriella Jordan had a 14.9 inches there to finish second. So certainly had to be pleased with that.
Yeah, I mean, we've been working on that. Ella, like I said, the girls were a little young in there when it comes to it. But, you know, we were hoping for a little bit better. We were hoping that those girls are all capable going 14. But unfortunately today, I think we had a 13-11. I think we had a high 12 or low 13. But
You had
that's
mentioned to me,
track.
though, prior to this meet, though, Ella Jordan is one of, if not your most improved, at least on the girls' side.
She is, she's a young girl. She's a sophomore, and she's starting to hit, for me, I always look for consistency. If I start seeing somebody hit 14, once you know you can do it, then you stop thinking about the steps, and you start thinking, getting those legs up, getting the chest out, and Ella's starting to, she's starting to peak right now. I did not know she did that, to be honest with you. I knew she jumped well, but that's, like I said, 15 feet. She can help us in the league there. You get close to that, so that's a great jump for her.
Yeah, you guys also did very well in the boys' long jump, where as a team you took second behind Sonora, just 10 inches behind the Rams there, but. You also had, I think 3 of the top 5 individuals, Luke Westfall going 21 feet to win that. And then in 4th place, Trevor Tressler going 19.5 and 3/4. Then Heaven Dalton there in 5th. So 3 of the top 5, got to be pleased with that.
We've got about 4 guys that can jump 19 feet or better. So we're sort of experimenting a little bit. Andrew is going to be running in another event later on, so we sort of couldn't put him because Ayersville, and then Tressler. Tress is, he goes from running the 4x8 to long jumping. Then he's going to run the 4x4. Then I think he's running the 400 in the distance medley.
How much recovery time does he need?
He doesn't have a lot of recovery time, but that's good. The less recovery time that he has, the better. He doesn't have to think about all the races that he's going to run. But yeah, I'll tell you what, those guys have been steady all year. And like I said, Heaven just came off. It's a tough meet because he's high jumping. Then he had to leave to get a jump in. Then he went back to high jump. But, that does well for you mentally. Just gets you ready for those meets. Sure. But, yeah, those guys, like we talked earlier, those guys are some of our bigger dogs. And if you're going to be in meets, you got to, as Jerry always said, the big dogs, they got to show up. They got to show up. And I thought they did well today.
What else you got, Scoop?
We also have high jump. The girls' high jump, Liberty Center won that going away. They had a combined total of 14-11, followed by Napoleon, Tenor, and Defiance. Then on the boys' high jump relay, Tenora set a new Palmer relays record, going 17 feet 11 there combined in the high jump. So congratulations to the Rams on that. Defiance, Heaven Dalton was able to go 5 feet 8. Andrew Irizarry was able to go 5 feet 6. So also a strong showing. Mitchell Taylor cleared 5. So you did have 3 clear the open night. So
good. Well, Coach Lee learned all of his jumping here at Defiance when he went to school here, so we can take part credit for that. Tenor's doing an outstanding job, and Isaac doing a great job with those guys. But like I said, we've got those guys have been doing well all year. Irizarry is close to 5'6", and he's close to 5'8", and Taylor battled some injuries, but Mitchell, like I said, plays tight end for us. Plays defensive end, comes out, runs the shuttle hurdles. Actually looks like a hurdler today. It was amazing because if you'd have saw it at the beginning of the week, it looked like a tight end running hurdles. He looked good. And like I said, he's got a knee issue. So, high jumping for him. But like I said, he knows he's that third guy. I said, get over and then we'll take whatever we got. I knew coming in Tenor was going to be pretty hard to beat. So like I said, if you want to win this meet, you got to be first or second. I know it's not rocket science, but you got to stay close.
Well, the third person also paid off in the girls' pole vault for you, as you guys were able to take first place with a combined effort of 24 feet.
Excellent.
And at the top of the list was Kendall Krekel.
Oh, good
was
for
able
her.
to go 9 feet
K
there.
squared.
So great job by her. And then Elizabeth Thompson was able to clear 8 feet. And then that third and crucial, of course, was Lily Delaney going 7 feet. So you had 3 consistent scores right there, and those being a nice team title.
Those girls have been. They work hard. Lily, she is so quiet. You wouldn't even know she's here, but she just comes to work every day. She's a freshman, and like I said, I told her, you can talk a little bit, you can have a little bit of fun, and then she is just, working her tail off. And like I said, Thompson is also a freshman. And she's, I think both of those are PRs today. So, we talk about this meet, and all you can do is PR. If you PR, if you do your best, that's all you can do. What you don't want to do is leave something out there. And those girls have been steadily improving. Coach Trivett does a great job with those guys, and I'm really happy with that. I did not think I thought it could be close, but that's outstanding. That's awesome.
You and I were talking about it too, and especially as we kind of transition here to some of the relays. Let's start with the boys 4x1600 meter relay. It was a tight pack, at least 3 out of the 4 after the first leg, but then Hendricks Myers and Max Keck Priest just put on a clinic. Did they set PRs today?
Yes, I'm pretty sure those guys, Hendricks is a sophomore, and Max has been with us. He's a junior, and when I was coaching junior high, Max was actually a 7th grader when Coach Gruber and I had me start back up in this. And, they saved the best for last.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's got to be. I know right now that is Max, and that's going to be Hendricks. Oops. Uh-oh.
Well, we just got news over the PA, Steve Wall. You could hear the disappointment in his voice. The weather is moving in. It is not expected to clear up, and the rest of the meet has been canceled. So let's not let that cloud come down on the 4x1600 meter, because as running the anchor leg, Josiah Gonzalez, look, the race had been over at that point, and I was asking you, what's the philosophy? What do you want that young man to do? Because in effect, you're racing against yourself at that point.
But at that point, we would like him to run smart. I mean, he had a couple more events he was going to have to run in. So when at some point you want to tell the kids, hey, listen, I mean, you don't ever want to say we're not trying to win this, but at the same time, we had other events coming on. So, hey, maintain what you got. If it was the last meet, if it was the last race, go for it. But at this point, we want to make sure that he runs a smart race, and because he came back, we had a couple more events for him. Shoot, I did not think we were going to get canceled today.
Jerry Beauty, he was singing your praises just 5 minutes ago. He still continue, as will we, to do so. But that tells you something then. I'm looking to the south here. Those clouds look very, very nasty. And I know you want to compete, but everybody's safety, obviously, is the first priority.
Obviously, yeah. We'd had so many meets canceled this year. And, and as a coach and a staff, we've been planning this all year. We were out here the last 3 days putting everything up, making sure it got together. And you just know that there's only so many opportunities that you can get some of these kids some time on the track and under pressure and see what your kids can do. So unfortunately, we won't be able to, but now it's on to, we have JVs on Monday, JV WBLs, and then it's the league title on Monday and Wednesday.
It's going to be
and
here.
it goes so fast on Wednesday and Friday.
So what's your preparation? What's the next basically week look like? How do you want to pace yourself
through it? With tonight's cancellation, usually tomorrow would be a recovery run for the guys and the girls. Well, tomorrow, we probably, if the weather permits, we'll probably go pretty hard tomorrow, and that'll give us Saturday, Sunday to recover. Monday, the JVs will go. So Monday, we'll do some short speed work, just freshen up a little bit, handoffs, and then, pre-meet on Tuesday, and we're off already. Oh, yeah, it flies. It flies. And like I said, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to finish tonight because, like I said, I thought we were – I thought we had I don't know if we can win or not. I don't care really if we win or lose, but I saw we had some good energy.
You were in good position.
I thought the kids were competing, and that's really what you look for. I thought they were going after it, and like I said, this is a big meet for us. A lot of times, track sometimes it's not the easiest to get parents to come to, and for us, a lot of our meets are an hour away, and it starts at 4:30. There's not a lot of parents that can make it, so this was one that we used to, like I said, you always circle. Like I said, for variety, 1, it's the last home. 2, it's sort of your spark before the league meet starts.
It's been going on for nearly 50 years.
Oh, yeah,
so
50.
Just what
it started.
A great event
48.
it's been here year after
48.
year.
This is
48. So hopefully we might have to change it a little bit next year. We thought about just trying to get some more teams. I know in the years past we've had like 10, 12 teams. Unfortunately, it got down to like 4 this year. But, it's important to us. It's important for us, and I know Jerry and Wally and all of us, we're going to find a way to get it going back up again.
Well, Coach, we appreciate you coming up and joining us.
I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Steve.
Next season, we'll get the whole thing on. We know the weather will cooperate.
So. Jerry needs to get a hold of that weather machine he used to have. I don't know where it happened to it, but he needs to get a hold of it.
Well, good luck certainly at conference and even moving.
Thank you. Thank you guys for doing this. I appreciate it.
Unfortunately, that's going to do it for our coverage here this afternoon. We're just as disappointed as everybody else. We were able to get you in at least a good portion of this meet. But as always, we want to thank our underwriters for helping make this broadcast a possibility. Folks, if you appreciate our coverage of area athletics, please walk through those businesses' stores, spend some money, and let them know how much you appreciate them supporting us in what we do. A big thank you going out to our crew. For Scoop Miller, I'm Brent Balbinot, thanking you, the fan, for tuning in. Again, the rest of the 48th Annual Defiance Palmer Relays, unfortunately, are a wash, but we will talk to you tomorrow on DCTV Sports.